All right, so now that we've learned the basics of color value, and we've learned about how to make tints and shades by adding white or black to a hue, I'm now going to demonstrate another technique, a different technique that also allows you to achieve color value in your art. This technique, rather than adding white or black to create tints and shades, uses the application of different types of pressure to lighten or darken a color. That'll make sense in a second. So let's start off. Get a piece of scrap paper. It doesn't matter what kind of paper you use. Anything is fine. And what you're going to do is you're going to draw 5 squares on your paper, any size. They don't have to be perfect, just 5 squares. And you don't want them to be really big because we're going to be coloring these in. I don't want you to spend the entire class doing this. All right, so I want to demonstrate something before we color these in. Now, with my pencil, I want to show you down here at the bottom. When you color in really, 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 really hard, you get a really dark, solid color on your paper, don't you? Now, that's achieved by pressing down really hard on your pencil or your pen or your marker, your crayon, your colored pencil, whatever it is that you're using. Now, when you're pressing down really, really hard, then try lightening your grip on the pencil. Don't color as hard. Color a little lightly. Loosen up on the pressure. I'm loosening up. See how light it's getting? Now, here, I'm barely touching the paper. See the difference in color value? This is another way to achieve color value in our art. Now for this exercise, the reason I had you draw the squares is I want you to practice with this, but by controlling the amount of pressure that you apply in each and every square. Now let's choose any side. You pick one square, you leave it blank. You don't touch it. On the opposite side, you're going to color the square in using the most pressure you can to make it really dark. So this is my darkest square. It is dark, 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 dark. And you can go over things. See how I went over it a couple times? Now, once you have your sides established, the light side, the dark side, you're going to go to the square next to the dark one. You're going to color this one in hard too. But you're not going to put as much pressure as you did on that last square. So here, I'm going to color hard this time, but not as hard. See how it's still dark? But not as dark as that one. Let's go to the next one. And you do this on your own. I'm just showing you. You're going to color this one in with even less pressure. See how that one looks like a nice middle ground gray. That's a lot lighter than that one, right? Now when you get to the second square to the end, we want that to be as light as possible because we're not adding any color into this white one. So you need to barely push down on your pencil on this second to last square. You need to be way more careful with this square than you had to be with this one. I'm going to erase these really quickly. I'm using pencil so it's smudging. Okay. So as you can see, this is a demonstration of color value, going from light to dark. I want you to go ahead and try this color exercise now. And I want this to be completed before you start coloring in your creatures.